नायडू मौजूद हैं, साथ ही तमाम गणमान्य लोग वहां पर मौजूद हैं। राष्ट्रपति के आगमन का इंतजार हो रहा है। सीधी तस्वीरें संसद भवन के परिसर से आपके समक्ष। और ये देखिए, राष्ट्रपति महोदय का आगमन हो चुका है और जो इंतजार था वो अब खत्म हुआ। राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद संसद भवन परिसर में पहुंच चुके हैं। सीधी तस्वीरें आपके टीवी स्क्रीन पर हैं। लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला, उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू उनको रिसीव करते हुए राष्ट्रपति महोदय को, और उसके बाद इस कार्यक्रम का होगा विधिवत शुभारंभ। लोक लेखा समिति के 100 वर्ष पूरा होने के मौके पर एक ऐतिहासिक दिन आज, जब इस समिति ने एक सफल यात्रा के 100 वर्ष पूरे किए हैं, अपनी जिम्मेदारियों का निर्वहन करते हुए 100 वर्ष पूरे किए हैं। वो जवाबदेही सुनिश्चित की है जो 100 वर्षों में इसके खाते में कई माइलस्टोन को डालती है। और ये देखिए, बस अब संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष में प्रस्थान होता हुआ सभी गणमान्य लोग, राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद, उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू, लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला, सभी अब संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर जाते हुए, और अब बस कुछ ही पलों में आगाज होगा इस भव्य कार्यक्रम का। संसद की लोक लेखा समिति के 100 वर्ष पूरा होने के मौके पर 2 दिवसीय ये कार्यक्रम 4 दिसंबर और 5 दिसंबर को आयोजित किया गया है। और आज कार्यक्रम का पहला दिन, जिसका शुभारंभ करेंगे राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद। सीधी तस्वीरें आपके टीवी स्क्रीन पर। राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद, उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू, लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला और उनके साथ तमाम गणमान्य लोग संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर जाते हुए। तो सीधी तस्वीरें आप देख रहे हैं संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर बढ़ते हुए। सीधी तस्वीरें आपके सामने हैं और उसके बाद होगा कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ। शताब्दी वर्ष समारोह 2 दिवसीय ये कार्यक्रम बेहद महत्वपूर्ण अपने आप में, जब आज समिति के 100 वर्षों के कामकाज का लेखा जोखा भी एक तरीके से रखा जाएगा। उसकी समीक्षा होगी, उस पर विचार विमर्श होगा, इसकी भूमिका को रेखांकित किया जाएगा। समिति के समक्ष वर्तमान में किस तरह की चुनौतियां हैं, इस पर भी विचार होगा। पिछले 100 वर्षों में उसकी क्या प्रासंगिकता रही है, सिग्निफिकेंस उसका क्या रहा है, इस पर भी तमाम जो आगंतुक हैं उनके सामने इस पर भी विचार होगा। केंद्रीय कक्ष की तस्वीरें आपके सामने।
सभागार में मौजूद सभी माननीय विशिष्ट जनों का सादर नमस्कार। भारत सरकार के व्यय की लोक लेखा परीक्षा करने वाली समिति अपने 100 वर्ष पूर्ण कर चुकी है। आज से ठीक 100 साल पहले समिति का गठन भारत सरकार अधिनियम 1919 के अंतर्गत पहली बार 1921 में हुआ था। हम सभी के लिए बड़े गौरव की बात है कि आज हम भारतीय लोक लेखा समिति के शताब्दी समारोह को मनाने के लिए इस सभागार में एकत्रित हुए हैं। इस ऐतिहासिक कार्यक्रम के शुभारंभ के लिए मैं अनुरोध करूंगी लोक लेखा समिति के माननीय अध्यक्ष श्री अधीर रंजन चौधरी जी से कि वो स्वागत भाषण प्रस्तुत करें।
Honorable President of India Sri Ramnath Kovind ji, Honorable Vice President of India Sri Venkaiah Naidu ji, Honorable Speaker Lok Sabha Sri Om Birla ji, Honorable Deputy Chairman Rajya Sabha Sri Harivansh Narayan Singh ji, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me acknowledge the fact that being the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, the oldest financial committee of Parliament, which is by all definitions an institution by itself, sets up its odyssey from the year 1921. It is an honor and privilege to welcome all of you to the centenary celebrations of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament of India. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our respected Rashtrapati Ji Sri Ramnath Kovind ji, our respected Uparashtrapati Ji Sri Venkaiah Naidu ji. We are indebted to them for their benign presence in our midst today. I also extend a warm welcome to Honorable Deputy Chairman Rajya Sabha Sri Harivansh ji, the Honorable Presiding Officer of State Legislatures and the Chairperson of Public Accounts Committee of the Legislatures of the State and Union Territories present here with us today. I convey my gratitude to the Honorable Speaker Lok Sabha Sri Om Birla ji for his untiring commitment for strengthening the working of our Parliament and its committee. We are indebted to him for his invaluable support in organizing this today centenary celebrations program of the Public Accounts Committee. It is regrettable to note that many of the Commonwealth countries who are invited to join these celebrations have been failed to attend the program because of the looming threat out of new variant of concern, Omicron virus. We are gathered here today in this central hall of Parliament, a sacred venue in our democracy. Our constitution was framed in this magnificent domed hall. These benches were once occupied by stalwarts like Jawaharlal Nehru, B.R. Ambedkar, Abul Kalam Azad, J.P. Kripalini, Vallabhbhai Patel and many others. And it was here that after years of struggle and sacrifice, India was declared independent. Prior to independence, legislatures in the country had limited powers when it came to government finances. The first step towards scrutiny of government spending took place in 1921 when the Public Accounts Committee was set up in the Central Assembly. Even with its limitation, it established a semblance of legislative control over government finances. The committee in its very first report set the tone of accountability of government functioning. It recommended that if after the accounts for the year are closed and the total grant under any demand has exceeded, the excess ought to be regulated by vote of the Assembly. When the PSC was set up in 1921, the revenues of the government were as merely as 200 crores. When we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the committee in 1971, Government of India revenues were 4,800 crores, and now in its 100th year of government revenues, now at a boggling rate 18 lakh crores. These numbers are an indication of the enormity of the committee's task and also the scale of responsibility of its shoulders. On its shoulders, our first speaker, Sri J.B. Mavalankar, highlighted the importance of the PSC when he said, the work of Public Accounts Committee is not merely a mechanical work of checking credit and debit entries with the vouchers, but to go below the surface and see whether the money spent as the legislature intended, whether it was spent with due economies, and last but not the least, whether a high standard of public morality is maintained in all financial matters. In 1997, we were celebrating the Golden Jubilee of our independence and the 75th year of the PSC. Parliament had organized a conference which saw the participation of the chairman and members of Public Accounts Committee from SAARC parliaments. In his opening address, Speaker P.S. Sangma, in his usual style, said, public spending has been described humorously as the most delicious of all privileges, spending other people's money. It is a function of PSC to ascertain that the money granted by Parliament has been spent by the government within the scope of the demand. The committee examines in details how voted money has been spent and whether it is spent in the interest of the taxpayers. It satisfied itself that the money so voted were spent prudently and economically to maintain the economy and wisdom of each expenditure. A report of the PSC was discussed for the first time on the floor of National Legislature in 1966. While allowing the discussion, the Speaker said, the most important thing that I have to bring to the notice of the House is that the PSC is a house in miniature. Its decisions should be respected and its dignity enhanced. They are all parties work together in team spirit and no note of dissent is appended nor allowed. They work in the interest of the nation and of the House on behalf of the House. The PSC is a macrocosm of Parliament as the parties and groups find representations on it largely in proportion to their strength in the House. The committee, however, works on non-party lines with a spirit of dedication and service to the country. This has enabled the committee to function as a united team and adhere to the healthy convention of submitting unanimous reports which truly reflect the non-partisan spirit of the committee. An important event in strengthening the PSC took place in 1967. This year, Sri M.R. Masani became the first opposition member to become the chairman of the PSC. It is a tradition that we have been following ever since. During the 100 years of its existence, the committee has broken new ground in many fields, extended the scope of its examination. Over the decades, the examination of accounts by the PSC accomplishes the aim of enforcing public accountability in the transactions of government business, and in this manner, the committee contributes towards maintaining the standard of efficiency and financial propriety in the running of the administration. Since the committee became a parliamentary committee under the control of the Speaker from January 1950, it has presented 1699 reports. During the last 4 Lok Sabhas, around 3/4 of recommendations of PSC have been accepted by the government. This depicts the credibility and importance of the PSC in financial sphere of the administration. Thus, through its steady vigilance and watchfulness, the PSC has sought to ensure financial discipline in expenditure as well as revenue. The committee has an important advantage in that it has the expert assistance of Comptroller and Auditor General and his talented team of officers in its examination of the various ministries and departments. I would here like to acknowledge the valuable help the committee has received from the present Comptroller and Auditor General Sri Girish Chandra Murmu. The PSC benefits from the hard work and the advice of the officers of the CNAG. It is the input from CNAG that empowers the PSC to produce its output, and increase in the resource capacity and independence of the CHE will directly impact the functioning of the PSC. I would also like to take this opportunity to commend the endeavors and achievements of state PSC in performing the financial vigil at that state level, with some states like Tamil Nadu having PSC since 1923. At this centenary celebration, I take genuine pride in the achievements of PSC through the years in strengthening the financial discipline of the administration and being a real bulwark for our democratic polity. I wish that the committee continues its pursuit towards holding the government accountable for its spending of taxpayers' money, and I hope that its stewardship over public assets with accountability responsibility and integrity will continue to function as a beacon of courage and hope for all of us. With this word, I am concluding my speech. Thank you.
धन्यवाद माननीय लोक लेखा समिति अध्यक्ष जी। अब मैं अनुरोध करती हूँ माननीय लोकसभा अध्यक्ष श्री ओम बिरला जी से कि वो सभा में मौजूद सभी विशिष्ट अतिथियों को संबोधित करें।
संसद की लोक लेखा समिति के शताब्दी समारोह में आज संसद के इस ऐतिहासिक केंद्रीय कक्ष में उनकी गरिमा में उपस्थिति के लिए महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी एवं माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं, स्वागत करता हूं। आज इस समारोह में पधारे केंद्र सरकार के मंत्रीगण, माननीय सांसदगण, राज्य पीठासीन अधिकारीगण, राज्य पब्लिक अकाउंट कमेटी के चेयरमैन, सदस्यगण, भाइयों और बहनों, आज हमारी संसद एवं देश की सभी लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण अवसर है जब भारत की संसद की लोक लेखा समिति की स्थापना के शताब्दी वर्ष समारोह में हम शामिल हो रहे हैं। लोक लेखा समिति संसद की सबसे महत्वपूर्ण और प्रभावशाली समिति में एक है जिसने अपने स्थापना काल से ही लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं के प्रति कार्यपालिका की जवाबदेही को सुनिश्चित करने का काम किया है। आज से 75 वर्ष पहले हमने स्वतंत्रता प्राप्त की, तब से ही देश पर की लोकतंत्र संस्थाएं, प्रजातंत्र संस्थाएं और उनकी जड़ें मजबूत होती गई है। हमारा लोकतंत्र लगातार सशक्त हुआ है, मजबूत हुआ है और इन 7 दशकों के अंदर इन लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं ने जनता की अपेक्षाएं, आशाओं और उनके विश्वास को पूरा करने का काम किया है। जनता की लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं के प्रति आस्था बढ़ी है, विश्वास बढ़ा है। आज लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं की समस्याओं को हल करने के लिए, उनकी अपेक्षाएं को पूर्ण करने के लिए एक प्रभावी संस्था के रूप में हम इन संस्थाओं को देख सकते हैं। हमारी सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि रही कि कठिन से कठिन दौर और समस्याओं के बावजूद इन 7 दशकों में हमने विश्व के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र, सबसे बड़े संवैधानिक देश के अंदर हमने लोकतंत्र को आगे बढ़ाया है, सशक्त कराया है, जनता की अपेक्षाएं, आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करने का काम इन संस्थाओं के माध्यम से किया है। लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं का मुख्य दायित्व जनता के प्रति जवाबदेही है और किस तरीके से ये लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाएं जिम्मेदारी से काम करें, पारदर्शिता से काम करें, शासन और प्रशासन के अंदर जवाबदेही और पारदर्शिता लाए। इसके लिए जहां लोकतंत्र की संस्थाएं काम कर रही है, वहां केंद्र, संसद और राज्यों के अंदर हमारी संसदीय समितियों का भी बहुत बड़ा योगदान है और इसीलिए इन संसदीय समितियों को हम लघु संसद, लघु विधानमंडलों के रूप में मानते हैं और उनकी कार्रवाई, उनका संचालन, उनमें चर्चा, संवाद दलों से ऊपर उठकर जनता की अपेक्षाओं, आकांक्षाओं, उनकी भावनाएं, उनकी रुचि, उनके इनपुट के आधार पर इन समितियों में चर्चा होती है। मैं जब देखता हूं कि लंबे समय तक किस तरीके से समितियों के अंदर जनता से किसी भी विषय पर जुड़े हुए स्टेक होल्डरों से जब कोई बिल स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में जाता है तो उनकी चर्चा संवाद सभी लोगों से किस तरीके से दल से ऊपर उठकर चर्चा संवाद होती है और उन संसदीय समितियों की जो सिफारिश होती है वो सरकार के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण सिफारिश होती है जिसके आधार पर सरकार को निर्णय करने में बहुत सावधानी और सफलता मिलती है। 100 वर्षों के इस कालखंड में जो अपने आप में एक दीर्घ कालखंड रहा है, जब किसी संस्था की प्रभाव का आकलन करने के लिए हम सब यहाँ पर बैठे हैं, उसकी कार्यों की समीक्षा भी करेंगे, विचार विमर्श भी करेंगे, क्योंकि 100 वर्षों के अंदर लोक लेखा समिति ने किस तरीके से हमारे विधायी कार्य को किया, किस तरीके से वित्तीय संसाधनों को जनता की अपेक्षा आकांक्षाओं के अनुसार उनको नियोजन करने के लिए निगरानी का काम किया। इसलिए 100 वर्ष का शताब्दी वर्ष हमें पुनः समीक्षा करने का ये दिन होता है। मुझे आशा है कि 1921 में ये जो पीएससी की स्थापना हुई थी उस समय हमारा देश आज़ाद नहीं था, लेकिन उसके बाद भी हमने पीएससी के महत्वपूर्ण पहलुओं को समझा, उसकी जिम्मेदारी को समझा और आज हम ये कह सकते हैं कि आज़ादी के जब 75 वर्ष हो रहे हैं तो देश के अंदर कई बदलाव आया है, कई पारदर्शिता आई है और पीएससी के अंदर इसमें विशेष रूप से भूमिका निभाई है। मैं पीएससी के सदस्यों को धन्यवाद देता हूं जो लगातार दलगत से ऊपर उठकर देश हित और राष्ट्र हित में काम करते हैं और आज हमारी प्रगति और उन्नति की आवश्यकताओं को पूरा करने के लिए जहां पर वित्त समायोजन की आवश्यकता होती है, वित्त नियोजन की आवश्यकता है, उस वित्त नियोजन में पारदर्शिता है, जनता का धन जनता की अपेक्षा आकांक्षाओं के अनुसार लगे, उनकी योजनाओं के अंदर ठीक से नियोजन हो, इन सारी चीज़ों को पीएससी समिति देखती है। लोक लेखा समिति एकमात्र संसदीय समिति नहीं है, ये एक ऐसी समिति है जो नियमित रूप से नियंत्रण एवं महालेखा परीक्षक की सहायता से उनका मार्गदर्शन भी लेती है और समय समय पर पीएससी के अंदर जो कुछ भी वित्तीय संसाधन होते हैं उनका कैसे बेहतर उपयोग हो उसकी सार्थक सिफारिश भी करती है। भारत जैसे विकासशील देश के अंदर इस समिति के रचनात्मक सुझाव ने वित्तीय संसाधनों के आदर्श उपयोग को बढ़ावा नहीं दिया है, पारदर्शिता लाने का भी काम किया है। सरकार की नीतियों और कार्यक्रमों को बेहतर बनाने में भी पब्लिक अकाउंट कमेटी का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। हमारी लोकतंत्र प्रक्रियाओं में गहरी आस्था का परिणाम है कि इस महत्वपूर्ण समिति के सभापति हमेशा प्रतिपक्ष के फ्लोर लीडर या प्रतिपक्ष के नेता होते हैं। एक अच्छी लोकतंत्र के अंदर परंपरा है, राज्यों के अंदर भी इस परंपरा का ठीक से निर्वहन हो रहा है कि अधिकतर राज्यों के अंदर भी प्रतिपक्ष के नेता या प्रतिपक्ष के कोई सदस्य इसके चेयरमैन होते हैं। यही हमारी लोकतंत्र की विशेषता है। सबको साथ लेकर सबके सहयोग से लोकतंत्र सशक्त मजबूत होगा जब सत्ता पक्ष प्रतिपक्ष देश हित और राष्ट्र हित के अंदर काम करेंगे और इसीलिए इसकी रिकमेंडेशन को सामान्य रूप से सरकार स्वीकार करती है और कोशिश करती है जो रिकमेंडेशन मिली है उसको ठीक से लागू किया जाए। इसी परंपरा ने पीएससी के अंदर एक संसदीय व्यवस्था के अंदर एक निष्पक्ष संस्था के रूप में अपने आप को विकसित किया है, जहां निर्णय सामूहिक भी होते हैं, व्यापक विचार विमर्श से भी होते हैं और पिछले 100 वर्षों के अंदर हम अनुभव करें और आज़ादी के 75 वर्षों में अनुभव करें तो पीएससी के अंदर जो भी निर्णय हुए वो सामूहिकता से एक साथ हुए, देश हित में हुए, राष्ट्र हित में है और वित्तीय पारदर्शिता के साथ निर्णय करने में इसमें विशेष रूप से भूमिका निभाई है। मुझे अत्यंत प्रसन्नता है कि हमारे देश की इस महत्वपूर्ण संसदीय समिति के 100 वर्ष पूर्ण होने पर आज राज्यों के पीठासीन अधिकारी आए, पब्लिक अकाउंट कमेटी के चेयरमैन आए और निश्चित रूप से 2 दिवसीय इस सम्मेलन के अंदर वह अपने समृद्ध अनुभवों को, चर्चाओं को, बातचीत को करेंगे। और हमारी कोशिश है कि देश की जितनी भी लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाएं, विशेष रूप से राज्य के विधानमंडल हो चाहे केंद्र का विधानमंडल हो, हम ऐसी कार्य योजना बना रहे हैं जिससे अच्छे अनुभव, समृद्ध सुझाव और एक दूसरे की बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेज को हम सब लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाएं अपने अपनी संस्थाओं के अंदर अपनाएं। क्योंकि पीएससी एक महत्वपूर्ण कमेटी है और उस नाते जो 2 दिन तक संवाद होगा, आपकी चर्चा होगी, उस संवाद और चर्चा में से जो मंथन निकलेगा, उस मंथन से हम देश का कल्याण भी करेंगे और देश की सरकार का पैसा देश के अंतिम व्यक्ति के कल्याण के लगे उसकी जवाबदेही भी तय करेंगे। इस मौके पर मैं यहाँ पर आए सभी लोगों को बहुत बहुत साधुवाद देता हूँ कि आप यहाँ पर आए। मुझे विश्वास है कि इस सम्मेलन के अंदर जो कार्यक्रम बनेंगे, नीतियाँ बनेगी, कार्यक्रम पर चर्चा होगी, संबंधित मुद्दों पर चर्चा होगी, हम सब नई तकनीकी से उनका उपयोग करते हुए, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग करते हुए अपनी उपलब्धियों, अनुभवों, विचारों को साझा करेंगे और एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाने का काम करेंगे कि पीएससी के अंदर राज्यों और केंद्र, कई बार राज्य और केंद्र का धन भी राज्यों में जाता है, इसलिए हम केंद्र और राज्य की इन पीएससी कमेटियों का एक प्लेटफॉर्म विकसित करने की योजना है। बाकी आप विचार विमर्श करेंगे ताकि राज्यों की पीएससी और केंद्र की पीएससी एक बढ़िया मापदंड स्थापित कर सके, वित्तीय संस्थानों के अंदर पारदर्शिता लाने के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण कार्य योजना बना सके, ताकि हम देश की इन सभी वित्तीय संस्थाओं में पारदर्शिता ला सकें और जिस धन का आवंटन जिसके लिए किया गया है, वो धन का आवंटन ठीक से नियोजन हो। इसके लिए अगर राज्यों की पीएससी और संसद की पीएससी दोनों मिलाकर व्यापक कार्य योजना बना पाएंगे तो हम वित्तीय स्वायत्तता के साथ साथ वित्तीय पारदर्शिता लाएंगे और उस पारदर्शिता के माध्यम से हम सब जनों का हिताय, सर्वजन हिताय, सर्वजन सुखाय की भावना से काम करेंगे। मैं पुनः आज महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी का, उपराष्ट्रपति जी का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं कि आप यहाँ पधारे और आपका हमें मार्गदर्शन मिलेगी, नई प्रेरणा मिलेगी। आपके मार्गदर्शन और प्रेरणा से हम इस अमृत महोत्सव के अंदर नए उत्साह के साथ काम करेंगे। आप सभी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद माननीय लोकसभा अध्यक्ष जी। अब मैं अनुरोध करती हूँ माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी और राज्यसभा के सभापति श्री एम वेंकैया नायडू जी से कि वो हम सभी को अपने शब्दों से अनुग्रहित करें।
महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी, लोकसभा के माननीय अध्यक्ष श्री ओम बिरला जी, सम्मानित मंत्रीगण, सम्मानित संसदगण, गणमान्य अतिथिगण, बहनों और भाइयों, आप सभी को नमस्कार करता हूँ और शुभकामना देता हूँ। माय डियर मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, representatives who have come from various state assemblies, as the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, the honorable speakers of Legislative Assembly of different states, and also the all other concerned with today's function. The development that all nations aspire is all about mobilization and availability of precious resources and their effective utilization. What differentiates the development and the developing economies is this capital base and also its best use. Highlighting the importance of resources, the renewed Kautilya said more than 2000 years ago, the book Ardhashastra, that Kosh Purva Sarvarambha, or all state activities depend first on the treasury. Hence, he argued, utmost care should be bestowed on matters relating to treasury and include a chapter on budgets, accounts, and audit. 2000 years ago. About 35 years back, the then Prime Minister, Sri Rajiv Gandhi, noted that every rupee spent, only 16 paise goes to the people. It was a well-meaning statement, not to defame anybody. The idea is to stress on the importance of reaching out to the people. It was taken as a telling commentary on the management of public finances, and since then, no such fresh quantification has been made in public. This brings us to the subject of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, which is now in its 100th year in the service of the cause of the nation. PAC, along with Public Estimates Committee and the Public Undertaking Committee, constitute the triad of Parliament vigilance over a wide range of government activities and the attendant expenditure. Public Accounts Committee is the oldest and the mother of all committees of Parliament. Its role and importance could be gauged from the fact that it is a dream of every member of the Parliament to be on this committee. Several leading parliamentarians like Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao, Sri T.A. Pai, Sri R. Venkatraman, Sri N.D. Tiwari, Dr. Murali Manohar Joshi, Jaswant Singh, and Sri Mallikarjuna Kharge have chaired the PS in the past. Now we have the leader of the largest party in Lok Sabha as the chairman. This is a good tradition, and this tradition should be continued in its letter and spirit, not only in the center but also in all states. Since independence, the complexity of governance has gone up manyfold with the extension of welfare and different developmental commitments on the part of the government. Correspondingly, the budgetary expenditure by the central government have increased from rupees 197 crores in the first budget to 35 lakh crores now, which marks an increase of phenomenal 17,766 times. This huge order of resources either come from the people as tax of various kind or through borrowings, which have to be repaid. I underline, the borrowings has to be repaid. Again, from such collections at the required time and period. People would like to know where and how such huge monies are spent. That is where the Public Accounts Committee comes into picture. Parliament embodies the will of the people, who have an abiding interest till the efficient utilization of the valuable resources and also be assured of the same. Ensuring the value for money is a core aspect of the oversight functioning of the Parliament, which seeks to ensure the administrative and financial accountability of the executive to the Parliament in the discharge of its duty and commitment to the people. Financial accountability of the executive that can be assured by the effective function of the Public Accounts Committee, and also the acceptance of the recommendations of the Public Accounts Committee in true spirit by the respective governments. Public Accounts Committee is the apex committee mandated with the significant responsibility of ensuring every rupee that is due to the government is collected and further spent of the purpose for which it was sanctioned by the Parliament, collected and spent. In nutshell, the PAC seeks to know how wisely, faithfully, and economically the amounts sanctioned by the Parliament were spent so as to ensure efficient use of scarce resources. Since the Public Accounts Committee became a parliamentary committee after adoption of the Constitution of India, there has been a significant change in the nature, scope, and function over the years. Its scope now goes much beyond the reports of the Controller and Auditor General and looks into any irregularity that has been brought into public domain. In developing economies, management of public finances has been a major issue of concern with allegation of corruption and misutilization, resulting in wasteful expenditure. Public Account Committee seeks to check this by seeking to ensure accountability, transparency, and good governance. Effective functioning of the PAC ensures trust of the people in the management of precious resources, which in turn promotes investors' confidence based on integrity of public finances through efficient account keeping and its audit. One criticism that is held against PAC is that it lives in the past and mostly does a post-mortem job. But that is the nature of the functioning of the committee, as it is mandated to examine the appropriation and finance accounts and reports of CAG to find out loopholes, irregularities, diversion, wasteful expenditure, excess expenditure, expenditure of little value, nugatory expenditure, etc., so as to prevent their recurrence. This has a huge deterrent value as the recommendations of the PAC required the nature of force of law for effective ministries and departments of the respective. The reports of the PAC and the message that flow from there are further amplified by the extensive reference to the same by think tanks and media. Members of Parliament raise questions and debates on the same. As a result, the functioning of the PAC results in the fear of scrutiny on the part of all concerned. The reports of the PAC and its constant monitoring of action taken reports result in continuous improvement in the system. Sidney Webb, British economist and reformer who founded the London School of Economics and dealt with this post-mortem nature of the functioning of the PAC, said, and I quote, "The fact that post-mortem examination does nothing to keep the patient alive is no proof that the existence of a system of post-mortem examination does not prevent murders." He implied that PAC can prevent murders. Possible, besides critical examination of the functioning of the government with regard to spending and management of public finances, the PAC is essentially also a partner in improving the systems and financial discipline. Late Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Prime Minister at the time, as chairman of the PAC subsequently, said in 1993, and I quote, "Though it is in the nature of working of the PAC to be critical in its approach, we have struck a balance and functioned as a partners with government in the common endeavor of bringing out improvements in the existing system. Partner with the government. All these years, PAC has detected many financial irregularities, procedural lapses, executive delays, and even cases of lack of coordination between different government departments. It has also earned a reputation of impartiality, firmness, and grasp of details. By doing so, the PAC has enhanced the respect of the people for the oversight functions of the Parliament. To give a brief account of the contribution of PAC over the years, based on its recommendation, the ministries, departments are now furnishing action taken reports on the audit paras not selected by the committee for examination. Since 1982, which was not case before, ATRs on audit paras are now required to be submitted within 4 months. It should be scrupulously followed. Audit para monitoring system, portal for real-time monitoring, has been introduced as the committee is keen to achieve zero pendency. Due to committee's recommendation, about 14 lakh Anganwadi centers were made operational during the 16th Lok Sabha. Wage ceiling has been increased so as to bring more workers under ESI schemes, etc. Acceptance of over 70% of the recommendations of the PAC by the government over the years reflect positively on the robustness of recommendations and subsequent systemic improvements undertaken. The idea is to improve the system. Based on the experience of the last 100 years, the PAC may reinvent itself as required to be more effective, handle the complexity of scrutinizing the accounts and audit of expenditure through capacity building, accessing the inputs of experts and information exchanges for setting higher benchmarks and adoption of the best practices elsewhere. Since the audit review is also a core function of the PAC, I suggest that it may be redesignated as Public Accounts and Audit Committee, PA and AC. We are also alive to the present scenario of the governments indulging in doling out freebies for obvious reasons. I don't want to go in detail. For ensuring the welfare and social sanctity of the needy people, there is an important obligation to the government. It is time that there is a wider debate on harmonizing the welfare and development of the objectives. Welfare and development must go hand together. Expenditures must be carefully balanced so that both the short-term and the long-term developmental objectives get equal attention. Since PAC has to examine the effectiveness of resources used in terms of socio-economic outcomes, it may be order of the committee to examine the issue of balancing these two objectives for wider consideration. It may not be out of place to note that on this occasion, the government led by Mr. Narendra Bhai Modi over the last 7 years undertaken a wide range of initiatives to ensure effective utilization of limited resources. One illustration is the Direct Benefit Transfer, DBT. No line, no queue, no waiting list, no meeting, no greeting, no shaking of hands and doing in between hands. This should be totally avoided. This should be totally avoided so that the people's money goes back to the people, and that to needy people. Antyodaya, the poorest of the poor, welfare of the poorest of the poor. And also balanced developmental agenda so that people can stand on their own. This country has got great potential. There are a lot of skills available among the people. We have a lot of resources, national. We should utilize these resources in an optimum manner so that people get benefited, and particularly the weaker section, they are given preference. In this occasion, friends, I feel we are in the Central Hall of Parliament, 100th year of Public Accounts Committee. I personally feel the committee system must be strengthened further. The attendance in committees must improve further. The other day, I have noticed that many of the committees, half of the members do not attend. It's a time for introspection. I was hesitant to appoint the same members to the same committee who did not even attend 2 of the 22 committee meetings. But there was criticism that it's being delayed. The idea is to see that this opportunity is provided in the committee system. In the committee system, as was explained by the Public Accounts Chairman, Sri Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, you debate issues without any political this thing. And it is closed. It is not open to media. So politics do not come normally, and people discuss issue on merits. So maximum attendance, unbiased discussion, and also trying to be partners in development along with the government, along with the parliament. That should be the motto of these committees. So everyone should utilize this occasion. Second suggestion of mine is that the parliament also, I am the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, speaker also is very much here. The parliament should meet minimum 100 days a year. This should be followed by all. You are in opposition, you demand 100 days. When you come to government, you don't bother about it. This attitude by anybody is not going to help. All the political parties must have a consensus. And also state assemblies should also meet minimum 90 days. Because there are a lot of agenda for the state assemblies also. And more discussion, more and more scrutiny, enlightened discussion, good ideas will come. And those ideas will be useful for the government. Why should anybody be afraid of debate? And the third is, when I suggest this to some people in the government, they say, sir, even the time that is allocated, the days we are meeting, House is not functioning. So this also should be taken care. The House should function effectively, function meaningfully. That should be the attitude of all. We are forgetting political parties. Yes, we are in a political system. Politics naturally will be there. But at the end of the day, people's welfare, country's progress, and also the image of parliament and assemblies has to be kept in mind. On this pious occasion of 100 years of a committee, that every one of us sitting here in this central hall, we have galaxy of leaders' photos here. We have great leaders who have contributed to the value of debates of the Constituent Assembly. We draw inspiration from them. It is not for just offering lip sympathy or services. We must take those debates, these expectations seriously, honestly, and see to it that we all perform our responsibilities. Discipline, time sense, ethics should govern all of us in public life because we are leaders. Every MP also is a leader, MLA is a leader, minister is a leader. So people look to leaders for guidance. We should not disappoint them. Thank you very much. On this occasion, all concerned should introspect and do the needful to enable the Public Account Committee to reinvent itself so as to more effectively discharge its mandate in the ultimate service of the people of our country. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
धन्यवाद माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी। अब मैं माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी से सादर अनुरोध करती हूं कि वो भारतीय संसद की लोक लेखा समिति के शताब्दी वर्ष पर स्मारिका का विमोचन करें। अब मैं माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी से सादर आग्रह करती हूं कि वो लोक लेखा समिति की यात्रा 1921 से 2021 तक की प्रदर्शनी का उद्घाटन करें। अब मैं माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी से सविनय अनुरोध करती हूं कि आप इस ऐतिहासिक क्षण पर सभागार में मौजूद सभी विशिष्टजनों का मार्गदर्शन करें।
वाइस प्रेसिडेंट श्री एम वेंकैया नायडू जी, स्पीकर ऑफ लोकसभा श्री ओम बिरला जी, डिप्टी चेयरमैन ऑफ राज्यसभा श्री हरिवंश जी, चेयरपर्सन ऑफ पीएसी श्री अधीर रंजन चौधरी जी, मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, डिस्टिंग्विश्ड गेस्ट्स, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a feeling of joy and pride that I join you in celebrating the historic occasion of the centenary of the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament of India. My congratulations to you and all citizens on the completion of 100 years of a very crucial institution of our democracy. In a democracy, Parliament is the embodiment of the people's will. Various parliamentary committees work as its extension and enhance its functioning. It is a welcome division of labor as they allow the houses to discuss and debate all issues, while select groups of the members of Parliament can devote more focus on select matters. The importance of the framework thus created cannot be overstated. The parliamentary committees in general and the Public Accounts Committee, or PAC in particular, ensure administrative accountability of the executive towards the legislature. Without them, a parliamentary democracy would be rendered incomplete. It is through the PAC that citizens keep a check on the government finances. Ladies and gentlemen, this day is a landmark in the evolution of our democratic systems. The Committee on Public Accounts was first constituted in 1921 after the Montauk-Chelmsford reforms, making it the oldest parliamentary committee. In those days, of course, the committee had a different mandate. After independence, its role changed and it continued to evolve. Initially, it was headed by the finance minister, but after the Constitution of India came into force on 26 January 1950, it became a parliamentary committee functioning under the control of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, who appointed a chairman from amongst the members of the lower house elected to the committee. The change signaled the fact that the committee would now keep tabs on the state's financial transactions, not on behalf of the government, but on behalf of the people. In 1967, a further change was made to make its function more effective and inclusive. Since then, a member from the opposition in the Lok Sabha is appointed as the chairman of the committee by the Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, in a parliamentary democracy, accountability is central to governance. Therefore, it is obvious that a committee of people's representatives doing scrutiny of public accounts plays an important role. Professor Peter Hennessy, a noted historian on governance, aptly described the Committee of Public Accounts of the British Parliament as, and I quote, the queen of select committees. By its very existence, exerted a cleansing effect in all the government departments, unquote. The Public Accounts Committee in India too, right since its inception, has been entrusted with the great responsibility of showing the virtue of prudence. It aids in finding better ways to raise the resources and, more importantly, to spend them efficiently on people's welfare. Since it is the Parliament that grants permission to the executive to raise and spend funds, it has the duty to assess if funds were raised and spent accordingly or not. The term account can also mean a report, an account of how things truly are. The PAC in this sense strives to render a flawless account of the Treasury. More important yet is another connotation of responsibility, that is, holding someone to account. It is this aspect of holding the executive to account on behalf of the people which is at the heart of functioning of the PAC. This element of accountability defines its true role. Ladies and gentlemen, numbers and figures keep changing, and so do bookkeeping methods. But the philosophy of public accounts has not changed from the time of Kautilya. In his great treatise, Arthashastra, there is not only a chapter devoted to treasury, source of revenue, accounts and audit, but there is also detailed guidance provided on responsibility of accounts officers. Among other things, for example, Kautilya says the account officer must not try to interpolate an omitted entry as if it was forgotten inadvertently. Then there are further points on responsibility of auditors and responsibility of high officials. The chapter ends with a long list of punishments for failure to conform to the regulations. The point I wish to underline here is the critical importance of accounts and audit, according to Kautilya, in the functioning of the state. In more recent history, today's occasion brings to my mind the thoughts of Mahatma Gandhi on this subject. During the Satyagraha in South Africa, Gandhiji led a delegation to England to present the demands of the Indian community before the Crown. Needless to say, the delegation's long journey and stay in England was financed by the donations of the community. And Gandhiji was so careful in keeping accounts of the funds the community had given that he writes, and I quote, "We preserved even such trifling vouchers as the receipts for the money we spent in the steamers upon, say, soda water. Similarly, we preserved the receipts for telegrams as well." Unquote. I would like to further share what the Father of the Nation has to say as he expands the theme. I quote, "We are not the sole proprietors of our acquisitions. Our family is a co-sharer of them along with ourselves. We must account for our single pie for their sake. If such is our responsibility in private life, in public life it is all the greater. I have observed that voluntary workers are apt to behave as if they were not bound to render a detailed account of the business or monies with which they are entrusted." Unquote. In a sense, Gandhiji's considered account keeping as essential to a clean public life as cleanliness is in social life. Ladies and gentlemen, the PAC, I am happy to say, has lived up to such lofty ideals and expectations. Its record over the decades has been commendable and exemplary. Its functioning has been praised by independent experts too. Many luminaries, including one of my predecessors, Sri R. Venkataraman, and three of our former Prime Ministers, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao, and Sri Inder Kumar Gujral, served on it. Since 1952, it has presented 1,671 reports to the Parliament. It has examined public expenditure not only from a legal and formal point of view to find out technical irregularities, if any, but also from the point of view of the economy, prudence, wisdom, and propriety. It has no other aim than to bring to notice any cases of waste, loss, corruption, extravagance, inefficiency. If more paise out of every rupee coming from honest taxpayers are reaching those in need, and also for nation-building initiatives, the PAC and its members have played a large role in the process. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate Sri Om Birla Ji, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, for organizing this event on the landmark occasion of the centenary of the Public Accounts. I also compliment Sri Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary Ji for able leadership in heading this important committee. and I wish this event a great success. I offer my warm greetings to the delegates in this audience. For the presiding officers of legislative bodies in India, PAC chairpersons of all state legislatures, MPs, past and present Comptroller and Auditor Generals, former presiding officers of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, former chairperson of PAC, this event and the conferences to be held along with it would provide an ideal platform for discussion of ways to make the executive more accountable and thus to improve people's welfare. To all of you, my best wishes for all your endeavors. Thank you. Jai Hind. Congratulations, Speaker Sahab. Adhir Ranjan ji. Today is his day.
संसद की लोक लेखा समिति यानी पीएसी की स्थापना के 100 गरिमापूर्ण वर्ष पूरा होने के अवसर पर संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष में आयोजित कार्यक्रम की सीधी तस्वीरें हम आप तक पहुंचा रहे थे। तस्वीरें इस समय आपके सामने हैं। आज पहले दिन के कार्यक्रम का समापन हुआ। राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष में आए हुए सभी गणमान्य अतिथियों से मुलाकात करते हुए उनका अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए और उसके बाद राष्ट्रपति का यहां से होगा प्रस्थान। उनके साथ लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला मौजूद हैं और तमाम लोगों से उनका अभिवादन। तस्वीरें आपके सामने इस वक्त सीधी। 2 दिवसीय ये कार्यक्रम 4 दिसंबर और 5 दिसंबर को पीएसी के 100 वर्ष पूरा होने के मौके पर आयोजित किया गया। कल इस कार्यक्रम का समापन समारोह है। सीधी तस्वीरें आपके सामने संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष से। उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू, लोकसभा के अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला, राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष में वहां पर उपस्थित तमाम गणमान्य आगंतुकों के साथ उनका अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए और इसके बाद संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष से राष्ट्रपति महोदय का प्रस्थान होता हुआ। सीधी तस्वीरें आपके सामने। संसद भवन परिसर की ये तस्वीरें आप देख सकते हैं। लोक लेखा समिति के 100 वर्ष गौरवशाली 100 वर्ष पूरा होने के मौके पर 2 दिवसीय इस कार्यक्रम का पहला दिन यानी आज का कार्यक्रम संपन्न हुआ। राष्ट्रपति महोदय संसद भवन परिसर से प्रस्थान करते हुए उनके साथ तमाम गणमान्य अतिथि मौजूद हैं और सभी का प्रस्थान होता हुआ आप देख सकते हैं तस्वीरों में। और आज इस खास मौके पर संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष में जो कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया गया था, इस मौके पर राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद, उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू, लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला, लोक लेखा समिति के वर्तमान अध्यक्ष अधीर रंजन चौधरी ने कार्यक्रम को संबोधित किया और इस दौरान लोक लेखा समिति के महत्व, उसकी कार्यप्रणाली, उसके प्रभाव, उसकी भूमिका और उसकी चुनौतियों पर भी प्रकाश डाला। सीधी तस्वीरें आपके सामने संसद भवन परिसर से राष्ट्रपति महोदय का प्रस्थान होता हुआ और उसके बाद एक एक करके तमाम जो गणमान्य अतिथि हैं संसद भवन परिसर से प्रस्थान करेंगे। लोक लेखा समिति के 100 वर्ष पूरा होने के अवसर पर 2 दिवसीय कार्यक्रम का आज पहला दिन संपन्न हुआ। कार्यक्रम का दूसरा दिन कल यानी 5 दिसंबर को इस कार्यक्रम का विधिवत समापन होगा और आज इस मौके पर राष्ट्रपति, उपराष्ट्रपति, लोकसभा के अध्यक्ष और समिति के वर्तमान अध्यक्ष ने समिति के महत्व पर प्रकाश डाला। समितियों के जरिए विधायिका के प्रति प्रशासनिक उत्तरदायित्व हमारी राजनीतिक व्यवस्था की कसौटी रहा है और इसलिए लोक लेखा समिति को हमारी समिति प्रणाली में महत्वपूर्ण और उच्च स्थान प्राप्त है। तो पीएसी के शताब्दी वर्ष के इस गौरवशाली अवसर पर 2 दिवसीय कार्यक्रम जिसका पहला दिन आज संपन्न हुआ और इस कार्यक्रम से जुड़ा हुआ हर अपडेट संसद टीवी आपको पहुंचाता रहेगा। आप बने रहिए संसद टीवी के साथ। फिलहाल यहां पर रुकेंगे एक छोटे से ब्रेक के लिए।